So there are myriad reasons for working out in the snow, for training out in inclement weather. Personally, I love inclement weather. I love the snow. I love rain. I love thunderstorms, hurricanes. I mean, aside from the damaging aspects of them, I believe there's really good energy to rain and snow and wind that I particularly tune in. That might be a little mystic for you all, so I'll move on to some other reasons. The biggest reason that comes to mind when it comes to working out in the snow is the functional reason. If you are someone who lives in a state or a country in which there is snow, part-time during the year, then you know that when things pop off, when emergency happens, when does it happen? It always happens when it's snowing out. It always happens when it's pouring rain, when it's windy and stuff is blowing all around and people are freaking out. In my experience anyways, things rarely happen, emergencies I should say, rarely happen when it's a perfect 78 degrees, mild weather. They rarely happen when you have full gear, gloves, boots, shovel, pickaxe, parachute, all those things, right? They happen, and that's kind of what makes them emergencies, really, is they happen during when we least expect it. Let's just say it like that. Personally, with me, I've actually had several situations in which the person I was driving ran off the road in a blizzard, and I was coming from a college party, and all I had was sandals and shorts, and I think I was dressed like Leonidas from 300. So as you can imagine, that was tough, and I was the only person fit enough to really help. It was with my girlfriend at the time, and not saying that women are weak, but obviously it was up to me to push the car out of the snow, right? She had to steer. So I learned an interesting lesson that day, is that things will happen sometimes when you're not prepared. So what can we do about that? Well, there's a really easy way. We could train in the snow. We could practice getting used to getting our hands with snow and having snow in places we don't want it, going down our butt crack and down our shirt, and having cold hands and having to lift difficult objects with cold, maybe even numb hands. Maybe for you it could just be simply getting used to being comfortable in the cold. I know that is true for a lot of folks I've worked out with, and that used to be true for me actually. I never cared for the cold much, so this is a success story for me, the fact that I can teach you how to work out in the snow. And can you handle your business, we'll just say, under stress? It's not ideal conditions, right? The snow makes it slippery. It's obviously cold. Things are cold. Your hands can stick to things. You don't have the footing you might normally have. Your shoes might not be properly. You might not be dressed properly. There might be a million things. So we can set up a situation under our control and practice. And I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun because it's challenging. And if you are someone that completely shirks, my man down in Texas, this is for you. You're in Texas, so you don't really have to worry about it. But if you're someone who does not like the cold, then this is an easy way for you to challenge a weakness. And anytime we challenge a weakness, even if we just make a small monumental gain from it, it's huge for our ego and for our body and for our spirit. I can't tell you, that's probably one of the biggest wins I've ever gotten is from just being able to perform under inclement conditions. Because yes, we understand lifting heavy weights, putting extra dime on the bar feels great, right? Maybe doing extra reps or mastering a movement that we've been working on. Of course, those are awesome. But when you set up an outside workout in the snow and you just make it through it, and you'll be amazed. It'll feel really good, and I'll tell you what, it'll separate you from others, because I don't know too many people who work out in the snow except for the folks that I've trained, and all of them, every single one of them, they all ended up loving it, and every single one of them that I'm still in contact with or that I've seen are all massively successful. They're doing great. They look good, and they're very fit. There's a few things I'd like to tell you about working out in the snow, or really any uncomfortable situation. When it comes to temperature is mostly in our mind. Now, of course, yes, you stick your hand in a boiling cauldron of oil, it's going to melt your hand. If you stick that same hand into liquid nitrogen, it's going to freeze off. But think of the Inuit in Alaska, people that live in Siberia, right? I think their definition of cold differs vastly from what our definition of cold is. You know, people that live further south, right? Unless you happen to live up there, in which case you already know all this stuff. Same thing goes with the desert, right? People live in ridiculously hot climates, you know, and they do it, right? Things that would make many of us kind of more comfortable city folk or whatever, it would make many of us crumble. So that's the first thing, is realize it is in your head, and you're probably going, no, it's not. I'm telling you, yeah, it is, because I can tell you from experience that I have done this with myself and others, and we have changed the way we have thought about cold, and instead of running from it in fear, we accept it and welcome it with open arms, and it's not bad. I can touch snow, and it doesn't make me freak out. I can have my hands in the snow, and it's okay. I can have my bare feet in the snow, and it's okay. So the mental discipline alone that you can get from working out in the snow, from training in the snow, is amazing. Okay, and this will transfer to your life. Just doing this alone will dramatically change your life. You know, if you start to practice working out outside, it's going to change your life dramatically. It's going to make life easier for you, because now you're not so conditional. What do I mean by conditional? It means that certain conditions have to be met for you to be happy or successful or to do what you want to do. When you learn to train in the snow, now you're destroying another condition that needs to be met. Now you can succeed in the snow. Sure, you might not be able to lift 500 pounds like you do in the gym with your nice shoes and your workout buddy patting you on the butt, but it doesn't matter. The weight on the bar is irrelevant. It's the fact that you were still able to perform with a smile on your face. You know, I promise you. So there's the mental thing. No need to be super macho. Yes, we're Odin Star Fitness and we're hardcore, you know, but I encourage you to really, the most powerful change, and this is not anything of my invention, the most powerful change is done incrementally, right? We all know that person that got overnight success and blew it, right? And if you got overnight success and you're doing great, God bless you. I mean, I'm proud of you. And of course, people do it. But I can tell you, with my life, things take time. Let's just say that. I'm just a person who has to learn the hard way over a long period of time, which is why I have this channel, because I've learned brutal lessons over long periods of time. Okay, enough about that. So what I want to say about acclimating is, okay, say you do live in Texas and you hate snow, and you've never been around snow, but you have the opportunity to work in some cold weather. Well, don't psych yourself out thinking that you gotta go out there like those weirdos with a t-shirt and shorts and jump in the ice lake. Okay, that's a whole different thing altogether. And again, if that's your thing, then I mean, you know, you don't need me to teach you. But small increments. Okay, when it started getting cold out, of course I felt cold because we had a hot summer. So what I did is, instead of always wearing gloves when I went outside, I just bit the bullet and I let my hands be cold a little bit. You know, I'd go outside and I'd just be outside in, you know, the quote-unquote cold with maybe no gloves or maybe not a hat for a little bit of time. Let myself get used to that cold. Let myself realize that it's not going to hurt me, okay? Get used to that uncomfort. But we do that in acclimation, and you could take as long or as you could do that as quickly or as shortly as you need to. Okay, you might be someone that really has to take a long time to acclimate. Okay, well, so be it. You know, so you would dress warm, but you would maybe, instead of wearing a coat, you would wear something slightly less. Let yourself be a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, being uncomfortable is very powerful. And there are millions of books that speak on this. The Buddhist tradition literally speaks about leaning into uncomfort, and I strongly believe this, and I've had amazing success in it. So, of course, I just want to say, obviously, be smart and be safe. You know, if your fingers are turning black from frostbite, then yeah, it's time to put some gloves on. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think you're smart enough to realize the difference. So small little increments, a little bit each time. You know, maybe it's how long you can go in the cold. You know, maybe you're going to make your workout a certain length. Okay, maybe you're only going to have a 15-minute workout, or maybe you're just going to start with a jog. Maybe it's just your jog. You jog outside and then you come in and finish your workout indoors. You know, but whatever it is, break it up into small little pieces. It doesn't matter what it is, how difficult it is. You break it up into small enough pieces and you practice that, it will become digestible and you will succeed.